critical point to note is that the new social housing program does not provide land. We expect that the beneficiary will provide the land on which the unit will be constructed. But before we can build on the land, we have to ensure that the beneficiary has some rights to the land, either through title of ownership or through some permission to use, certainly by a lease, for example. After which, once the beneficiary is accepted as being deserving of a unit, then we go to the contracting process. And this is very important because there is the assumption that somehow it is the government that actually builds the house. And that is quite far from the fact. The truth is the government relies on contractors, and there is a well-established process by which the government engages a contractor. It is not that the government just closes its eyes and picks a contractor. The government has what is called the procurement process. That's a well-established process in law which explains and sets out all the steps that the government must go through. The fundamental principle of procurement is that it must be competitive and transparent. So every unit that is being built, a tender is put out, meaning we put to the public what it is that we want to construct, and members of the public who are contractors can bid on it. They say, well, I will build for X price, or another will say, I will build for X minus 10, or whatever price they come in. And the best price, the best assessed contractor is usually the one who gets the contract to build. The challenge, of course, is that between procurement and the delivery of the unit, the completion of the unit, there are sometimes delays. And these delays can stem from issues having to do with the location and the land itself. So, for example, where we are in this lovely community, this would be considered a challenging location. It is on a fairly steep slope. It is largely inaccessible, and quite a bit of work would have to be done to cut and fill, reinforce. Then there is very limited space for material storage. And all of these can cause the construction process to be delayed. And indeed, for some contractors, it is probably even overwhelming. In this unit where we are, we have had to terminate 2 contracts. So it is the 3rd contractor that would have completed this unit. But aside from that, there are other issues which affect the speed at which contractors can actually complete their jobs. For example, security issues, violence in a community, theft of material, labor disputes. And those are issues which oftentimes affect the contractor. Sometimes the contractors are unable to complete the job, they abandon the job, and we have to find new contractors. We have taken note of cases that have been highlighted in our newspapers, 2 cases, where persons in providing the land would have demolished their existing dwellings to facilitate the construction of new dwellings. The government would have engaged contractors, but for varying reasons, including security, including theft of materials, the contractors were unable to complete the units in the time specified. In the instant cases, the contractors would have asked for extension of time, and the ministry considered it prudent to give the extension of time because the ministry has to balance between the process of getting new contractors, which means going through a new procurement process and trying to get the existing contractor to complete. Even with the extension of time, the existing contractors were not able to deliver the houses in a timely fashion. So we had to terminate those contracts. That termination took place in December, and we now have new contractors on board. Work is ongoing to complete those units, and we expect that those units will be completed by the end of February. We are very sympathetic to the inconvenience and disruption to the lives and livelihoods of those beneficiaries who have been waiting patiently on their units. But please bear in mind, the government did not set out to not have your houses completed. These are just some of the exigencies of contracting. What we have done, however, in the new social housing program is to explore new innovative solutions that can be easily deployed, which would prevent much of the challenges that we face. So we are looking at pre-constructed building solutions. We are looking at using form systems and pour in place concrete form systems that will eliminate the need for material storage and reduce the length of time that it takes for construction. But there will always be this challenge of contractors not being able to complete the projects in a timely fashion. So we ask for the understanding of the public, we ask for the patience of the beneficiaries. Bear in mind, we are now over 300 units, and so far only 2 units have made to the point of complaints about delays. So the project is moving very well, and we will continue to press along and deliver to beneficiaries right across Jamaica who are deserving of this benefit.